After that, I don't remember nothing else that happened except for when I woke up. She was being that weird ass friend, and she was gonna bring her weirdo friend along to the shit show. Like, her energy would shift. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Taylor Kai here. And before we get into anything, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. So I know why you guys are here. You guys saw the title below. Let's get straight into it. So we're gonna talk about Jen. I talked about Jen in my first story time about the time, you know, when I let my ex-best friend come stay with me. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. So Jen was the person or the girl that introduced me to, I forgot what I named him, but I'm just gonna call him the videographer. He's not important in this story time. Anyway, Jen is somebody that I met somewhat in high school. She was younger than me, so in school we didn't really talk like that. We would see each other here and there, but our cliques never collided. Anyway, by the time I moved to a different state, she reached out to me on Facebook and was like, hey, I see you in my city, or you're in my city where I stay at right now. We should link up. I'm like, okay, cool. I needed to meet friends. I'm new to the town, freshly single. I'm ready to see, like, what's good. So we've been kicking, she seemed pretty cool or whatever, we had things in common, regular girly stuff like hair, makeup, beauty, fashion, whatever the case may be. I have my iPad here for notes. If you keep seeing me looking down, you already know what's up. Once I got in town, I knew a few people in the city, and one of them, we're gonna name her Kiera. I knew Kiera while I was living out in LA, and me and her became really cool, and she ended up just happened to be moving to the state I was moving to. So actually it was her idea for me to move, and that's a whole different story time on its own, on the reason why I actually moved. But I noticed when I try to bring, let's say, like, other friends around, what did I name her? Jen. Her energy would shift, if you know what I mean. I think she was like one of those girls that was like, I could be your friend, but your friends aren't my friend type thing. So whenever I would bring Kiera around, it was like this dark cloud would just come over her. I would notice like a energy shift. Now, granted, she wouldn't act like that all the time, but I kind of looked at that as a red flag. Mind you, I believe the first red flag was her even introducing me to that weird videographer. And now I think about it, now that I'm older, showing me red flags in the beginning of whatever type of ship that we're building, I just gotta start cutting that off. One day I get a call from Jen, and she's asking me if I wanted to pull up to her house. I agreed. I'm just like, yeah, I don't really have nothing to do. So I go over there. We just kicking it. It was cool. And while I'm there, she's like,
do you remember Weirdo from high school?
I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh
yeah, he lives here now. He's gonna pull up too.
So I kind of told her, I'm like, yeah, Weirdo, I don't really mess with Weirdo like that. She's like, why? I said, well, there was this one time where I was back home visiting from college, and this weird, I wish I could cuss, so I'm just gonna keep it. This weird dude calls me in the middle of a winter snowstorm. Literally a winter snowstorm. It was a blizzard. When I'm telling you, it was pure white outside. You couldn't even see the sky at all. He calls me and says,
hey, can you come take me to the store?
I'm like, no. Can you believe this dude tried to make it seem like I really wanted to come see? Like, I don't know. He was so delusional. He's like,
So, if you take me to the store, then you'll be able to hang out with me.
What? I don't want to hang out with you. I don't even know why I gave you my number in the first place, but I don't want to hang out with you. But you know what? Now that I think about it, when I was younger, anybody can have my number. You want my number? Sure, why not? I don't care. And blocking your number was a thing, but blocking somebody from calling you was not a thing. I would just not answer. But anyway, yes, he was very strange character, and he gave weirdo vibes at the time. It was kind of like, you ever, like, ladies, you ever had like, or spoke to a guy, and he just talks to you, and the way he talks to you, it just like, it makes you want to take a shower right after. He gave me like that type of icky feeling, and it was just like, no. So when I told her about that situation, and there were some other ones too when we were younger in school, and he gave real what's a word I can say, uh pred vibes, real pred vibes. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I told her how I felt about the situation, but she insisted that he still come, and so she was being that weird ass friend, and she was gonna bring her weirdo friend along to the shit show, I guess. It was her house, so hey, her house, her rules. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm not gonna be rude or anything like that. So he gets there, and everybody's acting normal. I'm acting normal, and I'm just, let me grab the remote. I'm just sitting there on my phone like this. Just, when I don't want to be bothered, I literally will just scroll on my phone just to, because I just have this thing like, if you look busy, maybe they won't bother you. So he walks in, and he's like,
Hey, Taylor.
I'm like, hi, weirdo. And, everybody was on their best behavior. Let's just say that. Um, so that was kind of like another red flag for me, is like, you're bringing somebody that or that I told you that I kind of feel uncomfortable around this certain person, but hey, what do you do? So I get ready to leave, and I just go about my day. I want to say maybe it was about a week or so before I heard back from her, and she calls, and she's like,
Hey, you wanna hang out today?
I'm like, yeah, well, actually, I got some stuff to do. You want to come kick it with me or whatever? Because at this time, I had an appointment to go get my boobs done. And it wasn't for me to get the actual, it was just a consultation. And because she worked in like the medical field at the time, I figured she would be like the perfect person to come with me, just so that she may know like the proper questions to ask. If you want a story time about the whole boob job experience, I'm your girl. Just comment down below, and we'll talk about that as well. The day goes on, and everything's cool. And before the night ends, she's like,
Hey, I gotta mail my sister off some of these birthday gifts. Can you stop at the FedEx? But before we do that, I wanna go and holla at my tree man.
now, one thing about me, I am not a smoker. I'm not a smoker. I'm a paranoid smoker. If I do smoke, I'm usually in the comfort of my own home. I may take one or two puffs. I'm not sitting at the bed being Bob Marley rolling blunts. Don't ask me to roll a blunt. I do not know how. I'm just not a smoker. So once we get there, well, not once we get there, I take her to go to FedEx. I say, well, let's go pick up your tree now. Beforehand, she was like, okay, cool. So she puts in the address in my GPS, and we head over there. Once we get there, I had no idea that he was going to hop in my car. He's like,
Hey, what's up? How you doing? He's
introducing himself. He don't really need a name like that or anything like that. And I'm like, yo, it's good. I'm kind of skeptical, because I'm like, oh, he's coming in. She's like, yeah. He's just like, well,
I didn't know if you guys wanted to smoke a little something before I give her, this tree.
and she was like, oh.
Oh, okay.
So mind you, he lived maybe like a minute from FedEx. So I was like, well, I guess I could just drive up to FedEx or whatever, and you guys can do y'all thing. So, you know, he's in the back seat and he's just rolling up or whatever. And then he passes Jen, the tree. She's smoking. She seemed like everything's cool. And by the time, let me say, she probably hit like one or two puffs. By the time she got done with that, we were already at FedEx. So she hops out and then she passes him back the blunt. Now she goes in there what seemed like forever, and child, you'll understand why. So, oh my God. I can't believe this. So he's still in my back seat, and you know, we're just talking and he's just like,
You want to hit this?
and so I don't know why, but I said yes. I'm like, okay. I took like one hit and I just passed it back. When I tell you something, I don't know what happened. I started feeling hot. I started blasting the AC, and it was like I was sweating. I felt like I was sweating so bad. I could not even feel the AC blowing on me. And I'm like, man, I'm not feeling good. And so he reaches over from behind me and he's like,
Are you okay?
I'm like, I don't know. So I try to open the door to try and get more air. After that, I don't remember nothing else that happened except for when I woke up. You want to know why? Because I passed the hell out. Apparently, I don't know how long, I keep wanting to say her name. I don't know how long Jen was gone. Okay? I do not know how long she was gone. All I know is I woke up to him snapping his fingers in my face next to my car. And he was like, I woke up paranoid. When I say paranoid, I mean paranoid. I'm like, I wake up like this. Where am I, not knowing where I was or anything like that? Like I was just completely out of it. So I'm like, where's Jen? Where's Jen? He was like,
She's right here. She's still in the store. She's still in the store.
and so he was, you know what he said to me? He was like,
Like, Taylor, well, when I'm snapping my fingers in your face or whatever, he was like, you turned blue.
and I didn't know what to do. He was like, there was a car he said a car pulled up asking if I was okay. And somehow they left. I don't remember any of this, by the way. And that was that. I was like, it literally felt like somebody hit me in the back of my head. I do not know what happened that day. Like, I literally do not know what happened. So she comes out and she could see that I look paranoid. Like, when I say I'm paranoid, like, I don't know if this means I felt like he was trying to rob me. Something was just off, right? So she gets in the car. She was like,
Oh my God, what happened?
like, how long were you gone? She said,
I was only in there for about 10 minutes.
like,
What do you need? And
I guess he's telling her what happened. Me, I'm still like, I'm out of it. I'm so paranoid. So she's like,
you need like a Gatorade or something.
mind you, I'm like, I gotta go. I need to go home. And he was like,
I don't think you should drive. You shouldn't be able to drive.
he's right. Thank God that I didn't, because I literally felt like somebody hit me in the back of the head. This girl, Jen, was like, I don't know how to drive. So what happened was, no, she didn't have it's not she didn't know how to drive. She didn't have a license. But we were like up the street from her house. So she ended up just taking the car, or I got in the passenger seat. She got into the driver's seat. He stayed in the back. I think mind you, I was still out of it. She ended up dropping him off, and she slowly drove back to her house, right? And I remember getting out the car, and she's like,
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I was like, man, it feels like somebody hit me in my head, right? So we get to our house. She was like,
you just need to go lay down.
so we get to our house, and I pass out on her couch. Maybe like an hour or so after she wakes me up off her couch. And you know what she tells me? She was like,
Yeah, you gotta go.
and I'm like, what? She was like,
You gotta go.
I'm like, okay, you know, somebody put you outside of their crib, you should just go. So I end up leaving, and I went to my friend Kiera's house. Mind you, my kids were over there at Kiera's house as well because she happened to have them. We would sometimes like swap weekends. Like one weekend she'll take the kids, and then a couple weekends I'll take the kids because our kids were friends. So I end up going to her house and I end up just spending the night there. And when I got there, I broke down crying. And she was like, Taylor, what happened? I'm like, girl, I don't know. And she's like, man, you got to stop smoking with people you don't know. Now, mind you, yeah, she said that, like, she know, not saying like, oh, I'm always out here smoking with other people. No, because she knew I don't smoke. So she's like, you just got to be careful. She's like, you can't even take a Tylenol. Why are you over here smoking with somebody you barely know? I'm like, I don't know, girl. It was just one dumb decision. But anyway, after that day, I want to say I maybe heard from Jen maybe one more time or so. And after that, it was up from there. And that was enough red flags for me. Like, granted, if it was her or not, it's just too much negativity. My spirit was just like, girl, just let it go. So anyway, that is the end of this video. Remember, please like, comment, and subscribe. I am an author as well. If you are into drama/thrillers, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my Patreon, patreon.com/TaylorKai. Follow me on Instagram, Instagram_@TaylorKai. All the links will be in my description. It was good talking to y'all, and y'all have a good day. Peace out.